Do you
Good
hear?
afternoon, everyone. This is Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, and Eula.
I'd like to teach the whole world music. To sing a simple melody. To sing about all the joys and good times, yeah. You see, that's the way God meant for it to be. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. You don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play my song.
I'm going to go ahead and just do mine. Maybe you can get your mic working. Is that okay? But mine is on intimacy. And intimacy is a close familiarity of friendship, closeness as the intimacy between a husband and a wife. Are you laughing? I heard
Can you hear
something.
me?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Between a husband and a wife. Closeness between people in personal relationships. It's what builds over time as you connect with someone, grow to care about each other, and feel more and more comfortable during your time together. It can also include physical or emotional closeness, or even a mixture of the two. Now, intimate relationship is an interpersonal relationship that involves, huh?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
that
Uh-huh.
involves physical or emotional intimacy. Although an intimate relationship is commonly a sexual relationship, it may also be non-sexual relationship involving family, friends, or acquaintances. There are four types of intimacy. Only one involves touching. One is emotional intimacy, the affirming, the caring, the interest in each other's feelings, a general closeness in which both feel secure and loved with trust and communication abounds. The second one, spiritual intimacy, the respect for each other's beliefs, shared purposes, nurtures each other's inner space, opens your hearts to each other as you open your hearts to the Lord. Is a process of profoundly connecting the core of your being to each other without giving up your own personal space. Three is the mental intimacy, as in meaningful conversations, walks in the park, shared values, interest. Consider mental intimacy as a meeting of the minds. It is satisfying, challenging, and possibly stimulating. Mental intimacy is a priority in this day and age. Individuality and uniqueness are praised with positivity. Physical intimacy, the only one that includes touching, hugging, kissing, massages, sexual touch. Mental intimacy is a priority in this day and age. Do I have to say it twice?
me making
Oh,
sure.
hey, okay. That physical intimacy was said twice. The only one that includes touching, hugging, kissing, massages, sexual touching, cuddling, proximity, which is the time, the nearness in space or relationship. Physical intimacy is about touch and closeness. Romantic relationship, it might include holding hands, cuddling, kissing, sex. Your relationship does not have to be filled or romantic to have a physical intimacy. It is an act or reaction, such as expression of feelings, including close friendship, platonic love, romantic or sexual attraction between people. Example of physical intimacy includes being inside of someone's personal space. Physical intimacy can often convey real meanings of intention or of interaction in a way that accompanies speech simply cannot do. It can be exchanged between any people, as it is often used to communicate positive and intimate feelings, and often occurs in people who have pre-existing relationships, whether familial, platonic, or romantic. It is possible to have a physical intimacy with someone without actually touching them. However, certain proximity is necessary. Most people partake in physical intimacy, which is a natural part of interpersonal relationship and human sexuality. As research has shown, it is a health benefit. A hug, a touch can result in the release of hormone oxytocin, and got it, and a reduction of stress hormones. So that's why when you feeling stressed, somebody say you need a hug, it releases hormones that calms you down. It calms you down and makes makes you feel better. It releases a hormone. So if anybody got any questions, please let me know. Hi Bessie Bogan. Hi Bessie. Hi Yolanda Rodney. Okay, it's your turn. You just smiling, but
You
can we?
finished?
Yeah, Ben. You just smiling. We said,
Oh, shoot. I was hoping you had some more.
but your mouth is
I'm
big.
enjoying it. I am really enjoying it. Rita,
But
that was great talking about intimacy and what I have today is about how people why and how do people gloat and how they're happy for other people's misery. So that's what mine is. Do you hear me at one time or two times?
I only hear you one time, but your mouth is not in sync in what you're saying.
Okay, so I think I'm on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you're
Do you
stopping and
hear
start.
me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, so what it
Okay,
is,
wait.
I have these earphones, but the earphones are in the phone and not the computer. So I'm going on
Okay.
with what I'm talking about. And so why do people gloat and why they're so happy about other people's misfortunes and their misery? And so I have a piece that I found here, and this is a site that I had not used before, and this is Evolve Consciousness. Evolve Consciousness, and let me see if it's a .org or .com. So Evolve Consciousness, but I will share it. Okay, and why do some people bully others and enjoy creating misery and suffering? Why do some people bully others and enjoy creating misery and suffering? And so this is really good. As I was going over it, let me check this sound here and see what's going on. Okay, I hear it. Okay. I will share it. Okay, and why does okay, I want to make sure I could be heard on the TV. So I monitor these things. You know how I do. So here's they have on here They have this like monster like person on here. And then down here it has I have suffered, therefore I shall cause suffering. And we know that some people don't understand why they do what they do, and sometimes they're not aware of what they're doing. But people cause suffering to other people because they're miserable. Really, you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so because they're miserable. So I'm going to go into this, and it tells us about other people. And let me let me increase here so I get it so I can see it real good. Okay. Why do some people abuse others? Why do some people bully others? Why are some people malicious to others? Why are some people looking to create meaningless conflict with others? Why do some people enjoy trolling and harassing others? And I know we wonder about that sometimes. We wonder about why do people like to bother other people? Why do they like to make other people sad? Why do they want other people to be unhappy? And the main thing, the bottom line is because they're unhappy. And so
Mhm.
they might not know that they are unhappy, and this is the reason that they're doing this to other people. They may not realize that they're doing this to other people because it's their character.
Yep.
So it comes down to the lack of respect for others and for themselves, ultimately, where they lack the ability to look at themselves in the mirror and see what they are doing,
Hmm.
what they're doing. So they lack self respect to look at themselves honestly. For some reason, they don't care about their intentionally malicious and hurtful actions towards others. Some people are just not happy until somebody else is
Is
miserable. And that is an awful, awful thing. And it goes back to Clee's subject, what she's talking about, and it all works out together. It's amazing, and we know God, and so it's really not amazing. But then we use the word amazing, that how God works these topics together. And Clee was in hers, Eula was in hers, and Eula's today. She sent me the topic, and I don't want to mess up and try to go back and find it. I don't want to mess up anything since I'm kind of on a roll right now. But she's going to send it in a video, and then we'll present that. But they're all working together. So it comes down to the lack of respect for others and respect for themselves. And people, many times, they're just really not aware of what they're doing, what's going on, because it's their life. They've been doing this all of their lives. They've been seeing somebody else do it. They grew up in that environment, and it's just a part of their lives. And until somebody just takes them and shakes them, it doesn't have to be physically, or jolts their mind and makes them realize that this is you. You have a terrible, terrible attitude. You're not happy. It seems you're not happy unless somebody else is unhappy. Why do you want others to be unhappy?
right.
It's because you're unhappy.
Hmm.
And people have to make people realize that's why we have counseling. That's why we have all of this. This can help people, but there are many people who don't think they need help. They think everything is all right with me. I'm okay. You're not. So
Yep.
the problem is with you. I'm doing just fine. I have all of my ducks in a row. My life is perfect. It's all the trillions and billions of people who don't have it together. I'm the only one that's got it right. And see, people don't want to realize that they validate, they justify, they excuse, and they rationalize that what they are doing is right. I'm not good at that, but anyway, they think it's right. So this abusive or malicious behavior is all about them and issues they have in their lives that they are taking it out on others for some reason, and it makes them feel good.
Yep. That's true.
And that is something when people take pleasure in making you feel miserable. There is something, as there's a what is a saying that says there is something wrong the matter. But the most dangerous thing about it is that many of these people don't know that the problem is with themselves, that the problem lies within. And one thing that I say is that it's a dangerous person who thinks that they don't know, and yet they don't know that they don't know.
Mhm.
That's a dangerous person.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of person that they always think they're the ones that have it right. They think they're the ones that have it right. It's all, I've got it together. Okay, they validate and justify and rationalize, I'm the one. So there is a saying, misery loves company. Remember, I did that, I think, last week. Misery loves company. They are miserable and they want to make others miserable. They feel like a victim, so they want to make other people into victims by abusing them. It's amazing. And you look at abusive situations with husbands abusing wives, significant others abusing significant others, wives abusing their husbands, the husbands and wives abusing the children, and all of that is because they are miserable.
Mhm.
They are miserable.
Mhm.
I saw a show. I watched a movie called Mully, Mully. It's about a Kenyan man. It's a documentary about his life and how when he was a little boy, they were everything. Well, his daddy was a drunk. He didn't work. Now I'm thinking, okay, they're supposed to be poor. They don't have any money. The daddy doesn't work,
But he
but
drunk.
yet he goes out and gets drunk.
Mhm.
Now, where does he get the money to get drunk?
Mhm.
I don't understand that. But anyway, he would come home. He would take a stick and beat the wife. He mistreated the wife and the children. He would come home, they would the mother would tell the children to come on in, and they would go and hide because she knew that he was going to beat her. And
Mhm.
she didn't want the children in the way just in case he wanted to beat on them too. That's the way I see it. So one morning, the young man wakes up. Now there are three of the boys. He has two other brothers. I think they're brothers. But anyway, because sometimes they have all the children's hair cut real short.
Mhm.
So on into there. But I want you to watch, if you will. It's called Mully. I mean, you will be so glad that you watched it. So anyway, when he woke up one morning, everybody was gone except he was the baby boy. They left that child in that little hut all by himself. And so
Was it
he walked over to his uncle. So his mother's reasoning was that, they went to find some other land. I guess they wanted to live on the land. I guess that land wasn't productive for them or something. And they left him there and said they left him in the care of his uncle. But he ended up being he on the street. Well, he on the streets, and then he somebody saw him, and they took him to a fellowship at a church. And the preacher was saying, "You can have what you want if you work hard." Rita, did you see it?
is it Australian?
Have you seen it?
Is it Australian?
Anyway, they say if you work hard, he preached
I believe so.
some solid, good, sound advice. That young man said that he walked to, was it Kenya? He walked to sometime. It's now Kenya is a continent, right? So he walked to another town, and there he started working and got himself together. He said he didn't have a dime, he didn't have a penny, he didn't have anything. He said he walked about 3.5 days till he got to that city, and then he would try to find a job. And people said, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You need to get out and work. You need to get out and work." Okay, now I read this whole thing. So the young man had a dilemma. He was in a catch 22 situation, an
Mhm.
impossible situation, because they're telling him, you need to get a job. And then when he goes, what are you doing here? You need to get a job. Okay, I want a job, but you're not giving me a job.
Right?
If I don't have the experience, how can I get experience if you don't give me a job to get experience? So it's a, what is that they say? You condemned if you do and condemned if you don't. You know, between a rock and a hard place. So the young man didn't give up. He went on and he was knocking on doors. I want you, please, if you have time, just look at it. It's called Mully. He knocked on doors till he finally came to a door, and he said, "You just knock, 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 knock." And so the lady came to the door, and I think she was like Eastern Indian or whatever. They were in that continent. But anyway, she said, why are you knocking on my gate like that?" And he talked to her. She looked down at his feet. You know, he no shoes, just the clothes he had on his back. And that lady told him to come in, and she let him work around her house. And he said the food that he got to eat is like when he cleaned up after they ate, there was food left. You know how food be left in the
Yeah.
platters and dishes and things. And that's how he ate. Anyway, it's a good, it's a good, but because his daddy, going back to his daddy was miserable. And so his daddy would come home and take it out on the mother. And therefore, when he took it out on the mother, that made the children sad too. He might as well, and thank God, hopefully he wasn't beating on them too. But anyway, this young man worked himself out of that situation. I'm not going to go any further because I want you to watch it because, oh my goodness, it is, oh, it's good. Anyway, so people are miserable. The daddy go out and get drunk, which I don't understand. I'm going to say it again. How is he going to get drunk if he doesn't have any money? And then he comes home, he's miserable. And then he's going to beat the wife, can't bring home any food or anything. So they've got to move out of this hut to go and try to find another place that's productive for them. But yet he's going out and getting drunk when he feels like it. Don't you have
Yep.
to buy the stuff? Okay. Now, so it's instead of spending time and energy and effort looking at themselves in the
Mm,
mirror,
yep.
people take their time, energy, and effort to
Live
purposely try to
it.
put people down, make fun of them, insult them, call them names, and they enjoy it. People enjoy mistreating other people and making people miserable.
Yep.
It's a what's that movie? It's a low down dirty and how some people treat people. It's
Slow down.
awful how sadly some people have underlying issues in themselves, in their lives, their psyche, want to project their aggression and feelings of inadequacy out on other people. They also uh, seem to enjoy doing. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel good.
Mhm.
And when they can get somebody else down, then that brings their ego up
Yep.
and makes them think that they're so much more superior, or they,
Mm,
well, fantasize because it really doesn't make them, because they keep doing other people the same way. They're so confused internally that abusing, bullying, harassing, trolling, or being malicious to other people is fun to them. And you've seen people how they mess with people. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch it, watch it, and then it do something or hurt somebody or ridicule somebody, and they just and other people around, some of them are laughing. Now somebody might step up and say, "Man or girl, you ought to stop that. That's wrong. You ought not do that." But sometimes these bullies are so intimidating to people are afraid to speak up to them and tell
yep.
them, you know, you're wrong. You
Mm,
shouldn't be doing that. And that's why they get away with this stuff. So many of them. But if you pull their collar and let them know, hey, 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 no, no, no. Now, when it comes to kinfolk, now, I can only speak for me, me and mine.
You
Ain't gonna
speak
have that around here. You try one time,
one
and
time
that's
only.
it, buddy Bo
Get your hat.
or Susie Q. That's it. Somebody has to speak up. And then you have to have compassion, because if you think about it, these people have a serious problem. But when they don't realize they have a problem, they don't fess up to having the
Mm,
problem, then they are what defensive. They try to defend themselves, and that could turn into a situation which could be physically violent. But you really have to see, you have to know how to deal with these people. And then if you can't deal with them, make yourself scarce. And whoever you're with, you don't ever leave yours behind with
Mhm.
these old crazy, these people, these confused people. Okay, anyway. So instead of spending time, energy, and effort looking at themselves in the mirror, they take their time, energy, and effort to purposely try to put other people down and make fun of them and call them names. I think I said that. It feeds their negative ego, the I, the myself. It feeds their ego. It really does. And
Mhm.
so they don't want to deal with their own internal issues and be a more positive ego. They often don't even see and recognize these deep issues within themselves. They also often don't want to see, they don't want to look. They
Mhm.
are in denial about themselves. They lack the ability to look at themselves honestly. They
Yep.
lack self respect. And some people don't want to see themselves because they know there's a problem and they feel like if I see myself in this, I won't be able to handle it. But it's
Yep.
better to go ahead and see yourself and handle the situation and have somebody else to handle it for you.
Mhm.
Because everybody's not going to back down from a bully. There's
That's right.
always somebody that's a bigger bully and a big and badder. There's always somebody, we say, badder than that. There's always somebody can take
Oh.
you down. I will never forget Elder Davis said there was this big guy. He was a bully like, and people were afraid of him. And somebody took him down with a little old bitty knife. Took him out.
Mm.
A smaller person.
Yep.
People have to be careful bullying
Yep.
people. And some people don't physically, it's not always a physical bullying. There are people who bully people who are in certain positions, in certain areas, in certain corporations, in certain different organizations that are just flat out, low down, dirty bullies. And they use their positions and their so called power to manipulate
Yep.
other people
Yep.
and
My
to
went through that.
express their superiority.
Yep.
But you know what? We all are human beings with flesh, bones, blood,
Mhm.
matter, veins,
Mhm.
ligaments, all of that. We all have the same thing. When we bleed, they say our blood is green before it comes out red. But when it comes out, it's red just like everybody else's. So we all the same. So hey, people need to realize that while you're out bullying and messing with other people, there's somebody that might be standing by that can take you out.
Mhm.
So we have to realize if we have a problem, let's face up to it. That's why so many they have these Alcoholics Anonymous and these other places like when people have substance abuse problems and things like that, they can go there and they can get help. It's the same thing with people who have anger problems, anger
Yep.
management, all that, and bullying. Hey, bullying, that's what the psychiatrist is for. That's what the psychologist is for. That's what the counselor is for, to help people. But people, if people don't own up to it, they will never, ever
Yep.
get help. That's why people gloat in other people's misery because, first of all, they are miserable themselves. And I had a little diagram, the abuse victim cycle, and I'm going to try to go back over here to my site. I'm going to try to show it. I'm going to try to project it here on the. Let's see. Tell me if you can see it. Okay. Can you hear me, Reedy? Okay, I'm going to try to show this picture.
I'm just waiting
Tell
to
me
see
if you
what's
can see
going.
it.
Oh, there it goes.
Can you
Yes.
see it?
Yes. Yes.
That's the abuse cycle.
Oh, we bad now. We even got
The
diagram.
abuse cycle, abuse victim cycle. And so I'm just going to leave that on there a little bit. Okay. Traumatic and chronic abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
I
And
said
then, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just
on up.
leave it up for a few seconds and I'm coming back.
Oh, come on
I'm
now.
coming back. And then
Eh,
if you go back and watch it, you'll be able to
this
read it.
time.
But that's mine now. If people don't own up to the fact that they're bullying people, that they have a problem, then the problem will never be rectified. Or it could be rectified, but it could be too late for the bully or somebody that they're bullying. So
Mhm.
what we have to do is own up to our shortcomings. Own up to it.
That's right.
Own up to it. Own up to it. Okay, that's it for me.
Good one. We
I'm
got
done.
diagrams. Hey, we got diagrams.
So, Reedy, is your mic still on?
I don't know. You don't hear me? You don't hear me? Mine is on. It says it's on.
I can't hear you. Oh, let me turn this on. I can hear you.
Diagrams.
So, Reedy, is your mic still on?
I don't know. You don't hear me?
Yeah, I hear. I, okay, so this. Yeah.
Mine is on.
Okay.
It says it's on.
I can't hear you. Yeah. Oh, let me turn this on. I can hear you. So, okay, everybody. Thank thank you so much for watching us today. It's been such a pleasure. And Rita, you want to go ahead and you have any announcements or anything?
No, I do not. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you, everybody. Rodney and Yolanda, we can count on you. Betsy, we can count on you. Hey, y'all. Love y'all. Much love. Much love. And whoever else, I can't see who I was looking, but I can see those. Those are the ones I can see. Who do you see?
Okay.
Who do you see?
Okay. So this is it for point of view. If when we do what we're going to do, then we don't try to just hold people online just because we're supposed to be doing an hour. But when
Yeah.
we've given the information and God has said, hey, that's enough, we are done. We are done. And we thank God for all of those who are watching us today. We thank him. Thank you so much for watching. And I will go back and read it because I can not hear clean now, but I know she hears me, so I'm not going to just struggle with this. But I thank God because I know that the sound is going on because I can tell from the TV. But everything is good. We love you, everybody. Thank you so much. Please let us hear from you. And we're going to get it straightened out so Eula can be back on, even if she videos, and she did a video, but she wasn't able to get the file through today. But we're going to work on that so you can hear from Eula. And as we announced that she will be back after school closes down for the summer. But they've gone back to work at the school system. So anybody who wants to work and they are working, we thank God for that. I love you, Reedy.
Love you. Thanks, everybody.
And we'll talk later.
Okay. Bye bye.
Okay. See you later.